What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review a 2012 mixtape by MGK and EST, his basic rap group, as far as what's going to happen. Also a collaboration mixtape with his EST affiliate Dubbo, as far as what's going to happen. Basically, this product, it's called EST for Life, and it came out in the summer of 2012. So the name of this product here is MGK was blowing up in 2012 pitches like that. He had a pretty banner kind of early 2010s mixtape runs as far as those pairs can happen. I reviewed a series of these, at least within a relative type sense. Some of these type pitches, like one of the more recent MGK products that I reviewed is the Lace Up mixtape from the fall of 2010. Definitely some excellent type of appeal, but this is a differential type package compared to that. Lace Up from 2010 was a little bit more within the pitch of this kind of paper trail and kind of gym class heroes type pop rap within those pitches. Still had some still kind of had like some late 2000s leftover type vibes, but this particular one kind of has like a meld of a little bit of like the Datpiff kind of hustle bound type stuff that was going on throughout 2010, 2011 pitches like that, and throughout 2012. It's just kind of the pitch as far as saying. It also has like some commercial type bite about it, but also within the pitch, it kind of is like a lead in and kind of more or less like an appetizer to MGK's priming kind of Lace Up album that's getting ready to come out a couple months later. But it carries Double along for the ride, who was basically one of his affiliates. And MGK was on the verge of dropping an album around this time. So the only real problem with this particular mixtape is there's some repeat songs on here. The only real problem with this product is just there's some repeat songs on here. So the pitch behind it, MGK dropped a series of projects in 2012 within those pitches, but it kind of takes the sale out of some of these just because the aspect, when you think of like the Half Naked and Almost Famous EP from the spring of 2012, there are some particular songs on that one that are also on here, or at least the problem with getting that particular product is just the fact that it's not so much the Half Naked and Almost Famous EP that's the problem, but the thing about it is when you like Lace Up, the deluxe edition, which came out in the fall of 2012, has 4 extra songs on there, but out of those 4 deluxe edition songs, there's really only one that's worth purchasing if you fuck with this mixtape and the Half Naked and Almost Famous EP. So it's kind of unfair that it's unfortunate, it's kind of strange and unfortunate that MGK didn't have further type songs that he could have thrown on the Lace Up Deluxe, because it kind of sabotaged the aspect if you're going to pay an additional $2 or $3 or $4 for 4 extra songs, that really only one of which, because one of the songs, it was a single, the Hold On Shut Up song that has Jeezy on there, which is on this particular mixtape. EST for Life is also on the Lace Up Deluxe, but the fair about it is, as far as this fair is going to happen, is just the other 2 songs that are on the Lace Up Deluxe are also on the Half Naked and Almost Famous EP, so you really only get one song that's new on that particular fair, so it just doesn't feel as much like a strengthy type sense to get the Lace Up Deluxe edition, which came out, which is interesting because that's actually, Hold On Shut Up is actually a single from Lace Up, so it's kind of the fair thinking that you would have thought that would have stayed an exclusive to that, but it's just kind of the fair, so that as a result, this particular product, not to complain full about, I mean, this mixtape is going to get a 9.5 out of 10. There's really only one song out of that 15. It's really only one song out of the songs that are actual songs out of the 15 songs. That there are 3 skits on here, so out of the 15 songs that are actual songs, it's really only one I don't full bound recommend, but it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying that because of some of the repeat songs between the get up of the, I mean, I think the Half Naked and Almost Almost Famous EP should have kept some of its exclusives on there, and it's the same thing with this particular product, because there's actually another song on this product that was on the Half Naked and Almost Famous EP, which is EST for Life, the title track, which is kind of unfortunate within those fairs because that sabotages a little bit of that product, because there's only 5 songs on that EP, so it's just kind of fair. So some of these repeat songs kind of take the wind out of some of the other projects' sales, but it's just kind of pitch that just something to know going in. If that had not happened, if these songs had been exclusive, or the projects from other projects had remained exclusive and they hadn't made you kind of more or less kind of get botched minorly for money, I would say within the pitch as far as those fairs going to happen, this mixtape probably would have gotten a 9.75 out of 10. This really, I would almost say 14 out of 15 within those usual type conducts, probably more or less within certain senses, especially because it's a mixtape and it's free, probably would have been a 10 out of 10. But it's just going to get a 9.5. It's not that big a deal, but it's just kind of the concept. It's just surprising that MGK with his illustrious kind of mixtape kind of with how illustrious he was in the mixtape era, didn't have like an extra song or two that probably could have been like captivating, that could have been on like the Lace Up Deluxe, and then just it's mainly the Lace Up Deluxe that I'm complaining about full bound, because it's the pitch that you are paying a few extra bucks for that particular one, getting that particular album. It's just the fair about it. But still, nonetheless, classic mixtape here has some great blistering type appeals. These Dubbo songs are pretty excellent. He does an excellent job with some of this. Dubbo, if you don't know who that is basically a wingman at MGK. He's not as commonly talked about. It's kind of very less than seldom that he pops up, especially past like the early mid 2010s. He did drop a solo album in 2014, which I reviewed back in 2024. Some excellent type appeal. Was just kind of the pitch as far as saying I don't know, his full bound affiliation nowadays with MGK. I mean, it's just MGK got to like some pretty MGK got to some pretty cream of the crop type popularity with Tickets to My Downfall and mainstream sellout, some of those type products, when he became more alternative, kind of Blink 182 like some of those type pitches. So it's just kind of fair. You may it's not like he doesn't fuck with Dubbo, but it just kind of feels like a product of like the mixtape grind of the Datpiff era, some of those type fairs. But these songs on here are excellent. He has at least 4 of these that are solo songs. He is on at least 1 or 2 songs with MGK as like a team up within some of those type of appeals. But MGK, for the most part, these secret MGK songs are pretty good within pitch. He's kind of crusty a little bit within these tones, but just some good type aspects getting some of these. Even if there's not a song as full bound, like single type crazy, this album does have a single more or less, which I probably would question if it was EST for Life, which was also on the Half Naked Almost Famous EP. But it's kind of fair that apart from like the song Police, there's really not terribly much original kind of blitzers that MGK would kind of have. He's not as crazy as he was on the he's not as crazy as he was on the Rage Pack mixtape from late 2011, just a year earlier, pitches like that. But I look after within the fair as far as saying these songs that are on this product are pretty excellent within those tones. The solo songs that MGK does on this particular mixtape do have some type of appeal. It's just a different side within those contexts, more personal type ones, or just more home plate, more personal type ones, or more home plate type ones that just kind of have the fare of just a different shade as far as those aspects going to happen, and just having something just more tugging, or just aspect of just having the tone of just kind of the way that you feel a sort of mixtape pain that's just not as super commonplace. So it's a good type fare. The Dubbo songs have a lot of good just banner type appeal with an aspect. I mean, him in particular, he's not really doing these pain songs, not like he could, but it's just the fair. He has more kind of basic kind of commute and just amidst like the gusty kind of Tuesday, Wednesday type fare. It's actually interesting getting like some Hustlers makeshift within the tone, where some of these songs like Paid and On Deck, some of these type ones, and even High for Days within a certain sense are kind of within the tone of just having like the typical kind of weekday type fare. Not so much Monday boredom or Friday blitzing within the aspect, but just kind of in between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I like the aspect of this kind of being amidst the product of like SFW kind of hustle, but just kind of in a Datpiff mixtape type sense on that particular Hustlers mixtape grind. So it's just the fair as far as getting towards that. But they're actually these songs are actually pretty vanilla just from the aspect. They're actually pretty affable within the sense of not having much of a learning curve to get towards the main. It is kind of it's not to say lower budget in terms of it not being quality, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying it's just kind of aspect that they're pretty straightforward with the aspect. It's kind of a vanilla rapper to kind of get to when you think of that particular fare. So it's just pretty affable in the sense, good wingman for MGK. But MGK song's pretty excellent. So yeah, I recommend every song out of the 15 songs off this mixtape, with the exception of the Rucker Park freestyle, which the unfortunate thing about that particular song is decent enough freestyle within the appeals, but he just kind of does like a gimmick freestyle where he just kind of says with every line in the freestyle, just kind of like, you know, I came from the stones, motherfucker, so I got bones, motherfucker. He just keeps rhyming within that particular, you know, frame of like how that particularly goes along with it. So it's decent, but I know MGK can freestyle a lot better than that. I think it's just going for like the loud pack type appeal of just like Friday type blitzing, because it seems like he is at some sort of venue where it is amidst like the craze of the night fair about it, but it's just not really within the aspect that it's attention grabbing enough with being noisy about it, but I think it probably could have been a more, I'm surprised that it just didn't have a little bit more composition about it, but it's not bad. It's kind of concept that if you need some Friday kind of noise, and if you need some Friday kind of noise to zone out and just kind of vibe out to within the pitch, like the craziness of just like the loud pack of some of that craze factor. It's there for it, but it's not as affable full bound. But there are better songs on here. Police is definitely better. EST Life is definitely better. Pitches like that. Some of these mixtape songs like Blaze Up and the other one, Blaze Up and Get Laced have some better type fare in terms of that. But it's good for some step out. But to get to these songs, for these fares gonna happen, like I was saying, this mixtape gets a 9.5 out of 10. It would get pretty much like a 10 or a 9.75 if it did have like if these songs were not repeat songs in other projects. As far as this fares, because like I said, it's not it's not like it's a horrid. It just minorly has sands a little bit of money within pitch, but it's just kind of probably, it's not like it's a full bound. It's just kind of fair that these probably could have been replaced with songs probably like the way that they were on. This is probably the fact that these songs probably could have been replaced with songs the way that they were on the fair, like with Rage Pack, something like that, where it's just consistent type ones. Another song like Wild Boy would have been. Another song like Wild Boy or Stereo, some excellent type fairs like that. But I look after it. So EST for Life is a nice one here. Now, I reviewed Half Naked and Almost Famous EP back in like the spring or summer of 2019, pitches like that. So it's kind of within the fair. I look after it, but I don't think I did the descriptions with it as far as this fair's going to happen way back 6.5 years ago. So I look within the pitch as far as saying I'm going to go ahead and get to this one within these particular fairs, just doing it. I mean, it's some good type fair, but this is a classic type song within those pitches. EST for Life has MGK and Dubbo on here, considering that the group is called EST within those pitches, so good type fair for that. But EST for Life, it's like a sparkly kind of vintage early 2010s trap mixtape heat to kind of get within the aspects here. Just seedy and gritty, I'd have to say. It's kind of some city weaving as far as what's supposed to happen. So just that typical kind of Datpiff type fair, just in a more kind of not so much full bound pop trap type appeal, but this has more has has some good attention grab about it within the pitch behind it. It's not as full bound kind of seedy beneath the, I mean, this is a seedy type song, but it has enough rise about it to be able to say that it's not beneath the trenches, it's full bound to where folks aren't going to know about it. It actually has some banner type appeal. This having some commercialness about it. It's a good aspect to kind of get that particular fair. Just one of those type ones. It's typical kind of grind and grit type song when you would think of a song. You think of a song ripped out of Datpiff out of 2010, 2011, 2009, 2012, some of those type pitch. It's excellent type fair, just typical out of that aspect. Good mixtape grit type song. This definitely should have been I mean, I like this. It is unfortunate that the Half Naked and Almost Famous EP did not keep that particular song from this project as an exclusive, but it's a good type fair being able to have it here, but it's just kind of the concept that luckily there are some further new type songs. It is unfortunate that EST for Life didn't remain an exclusive on the particular EP from early 2012, but still some good type pitches, a good type fair about this song, so good within that fair. Paid by Dubbo is a nice one within the aspect. It's like a good basic flat from Dubbo as far as what's first going to happen by basic flat. I'm not saying the song is flat, but this is the pitch, just a standard tune from him, just Tibble type fair within it. It's like a Tibble kind of gusty commerce and passage, I'd have to say here. Just a snack run song pitches like that, just some usual grit as far as what's first going to happen, so... This is just a basic song as to what Dubbo's kind of up to within pitch. Good introductory song to him as far as what's first going to happen. This is one of the initial, I go kind of back with this song. I've listened to this song since like at least the late 2010s, pitches like that. Kind of good type fair within the aspect as far as just talking about like the, how to... I admit that within the fair, some of these type ones are a little bit more straightforward in the sense that it doesn't have the full-bound kind of blitzing craziness of like a song like Wild Boy or Stereo or some of MGK's Wildest Heat or some of those type ones off of Rage Pack, some of those type appeals, but it is basic within the aspect of this. Like I was saying, this mellow, kind of plain and vanilla kind of Tuesday, Wednesday type commerce, just in more straightforward sense. Not so much the fury of like the hustle, but just kind of basic aspects about it. So it does within that appeal. So it's just good conduct just to get like that standard kind of steadfast grit of like urban type makeshift pitches like that. The same thing with the song. Same thing with the song High for Days. This is a good type fare about this one. This is a smoke-centric type song with an aspect as the song implies within pitches like that. It's like a dope stock kind of day transit, I'd have to say here. Definitely combos with the song Paid, I'd have to say. This is more recreational than fare. Paid, even though it's kind of a more plainer type song with an aspect of like it's kind of steadfast type pace, not a vicious type song with an aspect, just straightforward. This one has a little bit more recreation, just kind of mildly jarred pitches like that, just some smoke outings and good song to move around to as far as what's first going to happen. These songs are a good 1-2 punch kind of combo, just in the aspect as far as getting towards it within the appeal. This excellent type fare, get some smokage in your system but still be productive within it. So yeah, the thing about these Dubbo songs, like MGK gives Dubbo the ground to be MGK gives Dubbo the ground to have like some of these solo type moments within the pitch. There's actually, unfortunately, within the pitch, there's not a ton of real songs like EST for Life where both these folks are kind of on there, but it is an excellent type pitch to being able to say the product of these Dubbo songs are not square. It's just kind of the fact, I mean, they're a little bit they're mildly kind of more vanilla in a sense, but it's not something where I think that it shouldn't be paid attention to within the pitch. Just kind of the fact that he it's just some excellent type content getting some of these type fares. I appreciate these Dubbo songs quite a bit within these aspects. Police is a nice one as well within the fares behind it. It's like a roaring and sparky kind of mixtape turn up to kind of get here. I'd say this gives like good Wild Boy like Police, like a good Wild Boy like revisit, I'd have to say, within the context of it. Just get crunk and scream as far as those pairs gonna happen. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying particular product like MGK can get that crazy. It's kind of the aspect that he does not always advertise that concept as far as those pairs gonna happen. The MGK from late 2011 when he was teaming up with Waka Flocka, some of those type moments, and doing those EDM type songs off of Rage Pack, some of those type fares just really, popping champagne all over the place. Some of those type pitches really getting wild and crazy. Some of those type fairs standing on couches kind of fair. It's not so much he doesn't full bound do that full bound, but it's just kind of pitch that a little bit more hustle grit about this project. Like I said, this is a more personal type project, at least from MGK within those fairs. Dubbo's more on like his standard hustle, but MGK is just a little bit more amidst like the kind of thug pain and pitch, or the thug and mixtape pain as far as what's first happen. But this is a good standout in terms of like some Friday, Saturday, Thursday type heat. Letter to my fans, the quality one, like the appeal of this song is like a feeling upside down, kind of extra thought to kind of get here. Good day drinking slump kind of commute, I'd have to say, within the aspects of it. It's a pretty fiery type one from MGK's kind of rhythm about it. Letter to my fans is a sort of song that Eminem and Tech Nine and Tupac would kind of do within those pitches. Just more personal kind of pain within the aspects, but it's a good type affable type one. It's a good example of emote type fare that nails the particular pitch and execution of it. Halo is a quality one on here. I like the appeal of this one as well. It's like a dope Halo is like a dope ghoulish kind of day shift traverse kind of get within the aspects of it here. Just a nice gothic kind of regret and reflect as far as what's going to happen. It's kind of like some erratic kind of late songs, like some erratic kind of late grind as far as what's going to happen. So it's just a midget. This particular song is like some erratic kind of late grind as far as what's supposed to happen. So it's just to miss the pitch as far as saying like the late shift type fare within the product of it's kind of extra type fare, just like that bitiness of like a kind of crisper kind of I mean, it's not as full bound as if this song has to be autumn and winter, but it's just kind of pitch it just like a little bit more the song is just a little bit more biting and kind of like Halo is just a little bit more biting and reciprocative as far as those pitches can have. So it's just to miss the pitch as far as the fair, just having like that particular regret and just overall reflect about it. It's just kind of the fair, good type conduct of getting this particular tune from MGK as far as those fairs can happen. This sort of pitch that folks like Hopsin and Tech Nine and Eminem kind of do with their more ghoulish type fairs. So it's an excellent type pitch. Just some extra kind of character within those aspects from MGK as far as those fairs can happen. Just the pitch of having it's nailing the vibe of a good soul and tune pitches like that. It's like the appeal. On Deck, another Dubbo song is real nice within these appeals. This nails the particular Datpiff kind of trap late shift grid as far as what's first going to happen. This is like a stock banger, I'd say here. Definite blood pumper and primer as far as what's first going to happen. So this is a good nice one to kind of get crunk a little bit, figure out where the supplies are at, figure out get to purchasing like a box of beer and some of those iconics, get some Swisher Shells pitches like that, get the product and getting towards some aspects behind it. Still kind of minorly amiss it, but it's just like the song says as far as being on deck within the format of just getting towards the excitement of just some some kind of last momentary kind of transit type moments just to miss the fair. So these Dubbo kind of hustle songs do have the aspect behind them. It's just kind of the steadfast type groove within the appeals, but definitely works within the aspect of nailing it. This is sort of stuff that just was factory in the way Datpiff kind of was in some of those mixtape websites, certified mixtapes, some of those type fairs within the pitch. It is typical out of 2011, 2010, 2012, some of those type aspects. So kind of oozes, kind of leery, but I just like the aspect of that particular kind of city shift kind of grind within those fairs about it. So just good commerce and night weaving pitches like there, late day weaving, dusk weaving, some of those type fairs. Now I Know is a quality one. This is kind of more or less like an interlude, but has a pretty excellent hook on here from another cat. Doesn't designate who it is, but some good type fare. Now I Know is like an in-between kind of late day alternative rock. Now I Know is like an in-between kind of late day alternative rock toke sesses. Now I Know is like an in-between kind of late day alternative rock toke sesses. Now I Know is like an in-between kind of late day alternative rock toke sessions as far as those first games. So good to get some smoke fare kind of within these aspects behind it. Just some catchy malaise and drifting as far as those first games. So this one combos pretty well with Letter to My Fans and Halo, some of those ones in the aspect. This the more personal type fare for MGK, but this nails the aspect. Normally it's not always within the commonplace, the interludes or that apple within pitch when they usually are just like spoken vocals or something like that. But this is an aspect where an interlude is actually kind of a song and nails the appeal behind it. This feels like a relative kind of drifting, kind of Orange Skies type song that you would have gotten from like Marcy Playground or Third Eye Blind. Some of those type folks at 97 or 99 pitches like that. Her song is a nice one as well. It's like a quality kind of tugging song from Edge. Her song is like a quality kind of tugging song from MGK as far as what's first going to happen with it. Just some day shift kind of pain with like radio appeal, I'd have to say, within the aspects of it. Just the pop trap kind of regret as far as what's first going to go. So just to miss the pitch, something not... MGK definitely gave off some Paper Trail vibes and like the Lace Up mixtape from a couple years before that, but this is kind of missed the pitch of some of those type ones that were kind of missed the sessions of how things were kind of happening in 2012 pitches like that. It's kind of the appeal of getting like a radio breakthrough within the aspect. This is kind of one that would do like the Tupac kind of pain type song, something like Changes or one of those type of appeals when you think of the aspects behind it. Something like Changes by Tupac or something like Mirror by Lil Wayne off the Carter 4, some of those type pitches that just has like a more or less kind of sober, and it's just some good kind of personable type pain within the aspects as far as those pairs going to happen, just good pop trap within the aspects of it. For a mixtape song, this definitely nails the aspect behind it. It's kind of an upside down type song that has some good type appeal, so it's a good standout here to be able to get this particular one, just further type pain. Some of these ones, like I was saying, these more bleeding type songs from MGK, like Her Song, Halo, Now I Know, Letter to My Fans, kind of have these aspects. These are some differential type sides. I actually have not commonplace that's heard as many songs within these formats from MGK. Like these songs, it's been 10 years since I listened to Lace Up from 2012. I reviewed that initially back in 2015. It was just the fairs as far as saying some of the more recent projects from MGK, like Tickets to My Downfall didn't really have songs like this, and it's the same thing with like Hotel Diablo, some of those type moments. It's just kind of fair as far as saying that these are some good type fairs with secret songs from MGK that kind of nail it. So this is kind of an essential mixtape here, being able to say that EST for life. You would think within the fair, like it's not so much like MGK is kind of distracted, but it's just not the full main focus of getting him on like his most carnal kind of craziness like he was on Rage Pack, those type of appeals. But this is not a bad project from him. These Dubbo songs are definitely really excellent within the appeal behind it. MGK has some extra type fare, definitely showing off some of his freestyle abilities and his songwriting pitches like that, but don't. The only minor thing to say within a complaint type aspect is maybe the fact that it either doesn't have the exclusive songs or it just doesn't have the product of like a real kind of crazy type single that could anchor this product. It's not to say it doesn't have the crazy type. It's not to say it doesn't have the crazy type fare. Police is a real excellent type one, but it is in terms of songs by MGK and like the blitzing type format is something that could be like the Full Bound Fury of Wild Boy. That's the only thing that's short. But really, these songs are pretty aspects. So it's just the tone as far as getting some of these type moments. But it is maybe you can notice in like a relative minor type sense that it's just not as full bound like maybe you can notice like it could be to notice within a relative minor type sense that it's just not as full bound crazy as he was in 2011. It's still a good type of appeal because there were songs like that on. I guess that was kind of the same fashion about the Lace Up album from 2012. That one, apart from Wild Boy and maybe like one or two other songs, did not have as many full-bound crazy blitzers on there either. But it's unfortunate that MGK kind of fleshed out within that particular type of sense, but there are some ones on here for that appeal. So he definitely raps like the songs that he freestyles to, which one of which is to Get Throwed by Bun B from way back in the 2000s, excellent type of appeal. And then the other one is to the song, which I forget the name of the song, but it was on the Young... Past That Dutch from the Young Money album from late 2009. So both those pitches are some good type fare, excellent blitzing type appeal. MGK doing the Lil Wayne dedication type thing, so it's excellence within that product. And then there's a third song that kind of does that, and then Dubbo does one as well. So I'm going to talk about these minorly. Like the Highline Ballroom Soundcheck Freestyle is basically the Notorious B.I.G.'s Dead Wrong, the posthumous song that he dropped off his Born Again album. Now the reason why this is the only almost song off the album within those pitches, just because the fare. I like that particular freestyle. Like MGK really shredded this apart. This is like some good lyrics, just kind of an uptown kind of 90s club, I'd say, within the pitch of this particular song about it. Just a skeletal thump, if you know the Dead Wrong beat and pitches like that. It was just kind of the fare. I just never have been too large a fan of like the Dead Wrong instrumental and pitches like that. A lot of folks rap to it. Eminem, Puff Daddy, Biggie, some of these type of folks within pitch. Most folks that are kind of lyricists will shred this particular song and really enjoy it, but it's not that much of a banging type song. I just look within. I look after like the tone. This is basically one of those type ones that you would have gotten when you listen to songs in an old school type format back in those saloon hopping kind of days. Like when you think of places where you're going to routinely play probably like songs by Public Enemy and like songs by like Public Enemy and NWA and pitches like that, just real throwback type within the appeal, Cool G Rap, some of those type folks, Beastie Boys within some of those type aspects. So it's just kind of the tone, considering that that's old school within vibe. There's definitely some shreddish on this particular song, and MGK is no exception. Biggie has torn up the song, MGK does as well, but it's this kind of pitch. It's just not as full-blown affable compared to some of the other songs within this product, but it is an almost song. I like it enough within the fare. It has that particular appeal, but it's just not the most soundly kind of catching song off this particular product, but I like it enough to recommend. And then to talk about Mayhem, the Ham song, which is basically the Watch the Throne Ham song that was a single from the Kanye West and Jay-Z album as far as what's supposed to happen. Dubbo does this particular one. This has a lot more appeal. This is just him tearing up some venue kind of electro spiffiness kind of get here. It's real supercharged type one. This is kind of the product. This is a song I full bound recommend. So this is the pitch. Dubbo definitely nails it within these aspects, just like the other two MGK it's like the other two MGK mixtape freestyles as far as those first albums. So it's just the pitch as far as saying, so 13.5 out of 15. This album gets a 9.5 out of 10. Really has that blistering type of appeal. Really has that blistering type of appeal. So it's just the product of this. It really shouldn't be. It's just kind of the complaint as to how much of a big deal it is about losing money within the pitch. That's the only real fair as to why this wouldn't get a higher score. It's just a pitch. If you're kind of angry more or less about being shorted out of like $2 or $3 within the fares of having to purchase like a product multiple times to get just one new exclusive song, something like that, it's kind of within the fair. That's the reason why I did it. If it's not that much of a deal losing out on $2 or $3 or $4, whatever, within the fair for paying the extra price for the deluxe edition, or not having as many exclusives on the Half Naked and Almost Famous EP is kind of within those fares. But it's just the product as far as saying within that aspect. So that's the reason for it, is just saying that, knowing going in, if you're going to get all three of these projects, but it's just kind of fair that some of these songs are kind of repeat songs within the pitch. So it's just kind of fair, but just between that and then I do think in a minor sense there probably could have been another crazy song that's full bound blitzing. It's like Police, something like that, because that's definitely pretty aspected type one within the appeal. Respect due to the boys in blue within those pitches as far as those pairs can happen. It's not to say full. I would say respect due to the boys in blue within those fashions as well within the pitches, but it's just kind of fair. There's not a ton of real full bound type, get cranked type craziness type songs. I mean, Hold On, Shut Up is within those appeals, but like I said, it's not an exclusive, so it's just kind of the appeal. I looked at. But look within the appeal as far as saying, so yeah, this mixtape, 9.5 out of 10. The social score I'm going to go ahead and give Probably like a 9.75. I look within pitch. I mean, the excellence behind it does have these banner type moments, like these personal MGK type songs really hit within the appeal. These Dubbo hustle songs are real excellent. I mean, even if there's like a mild learning curve, I said there wasn't too much of one, but it's just kind of the pitch. He's just a more vanilla type rapper within the pitch. It's just kind of the fair that Dubbo is someone who's never really charted like that, so you do have to kind of know MGK a little bit more than normal to really know his full bound about what he's about within those pages. It's not like you're going to find a song to say like this is his biggest song, and I think probably even the biggest song that Dubbo has probably has MGK on there as far as those first albums. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying, but these MGK songs do hit, but like I said, probably need a song with like some blitzing type craziness like he was on Rage Pack with some of those EDM type songs and Wild Boy type songs. At least Police is like that within those tones. EST for Life has some of that mixtape grit and like a sparkly type stuff. That's a relative kind of turn up one. It's not an exclusive, but it's within those fairs. Some of these type moments just within the pitch. But yeah, good type products just to miss like the Datpiff kind of hustle fair, like city weaving type runs, pitches like that, getting some snacks, goodies, smokage type fair, smoking with your pals, some of those type products, a little bit of hot box within the aspects behind the standard grit and some of those type grind fashions. And this overall nails the banner appeal, the vibes behind it. So just a real CD type project that just has the aspect like some above ground. This is a CD type project, but it does nail the appeal pattern and some commercial recognition within the aspect. Just maybe without like a large kind of widespread single was within pitch for us, and still good type banner type aspects about it. So in terms of the future, like MGK is apparently getting ready to drop an album as of August of 2025 within those within those aspects, so some good type appeals within that fair. He has plenty more projects. I've basically caught up with most of the stuff that he's done between at least like the fall of 2010 to way out in 2022. So he does have a project with Trippie Redd that came out in early 2024, and he did drop a deluxe edition and the standard album of mainstream sellout, some of those type pitches, and then there's the 2025 album. But I pretty much reviewed a pretty high string of MGK type products. I reviewed the Dubbos. Alright. I reviewed the Dubbo solo album pitches like that, so there's some other type fairs. There might be another Dubbo project or two floating around some of those type fairs, but then probably I'm going to start getting to some more old school kind of MGK mixtapes, some of those type fairs, but this is more or less pretty much this is a virtual kind of mixtape classic here within the appeals behind it. Just standard fare and lore out of the Datpiff era, some of those type aspects. Just some mixtape banging heat within those aspects. A real fun and thrilling type product, and definitely has a lot of good quality things to say about it.